Pitch Perfect 1 I loved. I sat there in the cinema watching it with James King was next to me. And here's the weird thing. I mean, everybody loves Pitch Perfect now. I remember that National Press show. Me and James were just laughing like hyenas the whole way through. And most of the other critical fraternity were going, that's not that funny. It's just, some jokes about singing and saying, excuse me, why is that funny? And then it sort of found its audience and everybody loved it. It was brilliant. So I was thrilled to hear Pitch Perfect 2, directed by Elizabeth Banks this time, but of course also returns her and John Michael Higgins as the sharp-tongued commentators. So the film begins in riotous fine style, some of which you will have seen from the trailer, and essentially the Bellas are on stage and they are playing a concert for the President of the United States, but due to a wardrobe malfunction they accidentally end up mooning the President of the United States. And so consequently they are thrown out of the Choral Academy. There's nothing they can do, except, of course, there is something they can do. There's going to be a World Championship which is happening in Copenhagen, and they can't be thrown out of that because they have a blah, blah, blah right to do it. So they have to get themselves together and find their true metal and find everything, get it together so that they can go to the Copenhagen thing. And this is going to involve going on a camping trip and doing various stuff. Meanwhile, Anna Kendrick's character is trying to break it big in a recording studio, and she's not having a lot of success. But Rebel Wilson is always there to help his group.
Barden Bellas, you came here to see us? Is it because you are, what do the American kids say, jelly?
We are so not jelly.
We should really thank you for making this tour a reality. With your bumbling ineptitude. We should send them something. Fruit basket? Yum, yum. Or would you prefer mini muffins?
Okay, we didn't come here to start something with you guys. We just wanted to check you out before the Worlds, where we're gonna kick your ass.
That's right.
You? You are the kicker of ass?
Yeah.
You are so tiny. Like an elf. Or is it a fairy? Sprite. Wie heißt das Wort, das ich meine?
Troll.
That's it. You are like a troll.
You are physically flawless.
Thank you.
But it doesn't mean I like you.
So that's them facing up against Dust Sound Machine, who are the German contestants who have taken over their place once they've been thrown out of the Choral Academy. So, excuse me, I set up a completely different clip because we've just done Mad Max and my head is slightly spinning. So the Dust Sound Machine are the kind of the Autobot dancing, singing, absolutely precision, perfect thing up against which the Barden Bellas have to go. I went into Pitch Perfect 2 wanting to laugh. I wanted to just to love it, and I wanted to to be back in the company of those characters and to laugh at the not just at Rebel Wilson being terrific, because Rebel Wilson is one of the greatest sort of comic screen presences around at the moment, but to enjoy the songs and everything. And what happened was it started really strongly. First 2 or 3 minutes, me, Nigel Floyd, James King laughing our heads off, and then it settles down, and you realise with that sense of sort of inevitability that it's not going to be as good as you want it to be. In fact, what it's going to be is fine. Good characters, story fulfilling far too many of the standard sequel tropes. Something is set up, they have to do, and in order to do it, they're going to have to go on a bonding camp together, and they're going to meet old friends, they're going to have to do all this stuff. So it feels very, very manufactured in the way that sequels often do. But within that, there are individual things that are really funny. Rebel Wilson consistently being funny. Anna Kendrick, who I think is a really smart, sharp comic performer. But then you have Das Sound Machine, who aren't as funny as they sound. I think you heard from that clip, you weren't laughing at it. That's, because the joke is they're Das Sound Machine, therefore they're absolutely, everything's on point. But it's like, okay, but that in itself isn't quite enough for the joke. And then you start to realise that some of the secondary characters are just doing things that are weirdly kind of stereotyped and weirdly as if they've been, just produced. And if I hadn't loved the first one so much, I would probably feel much more warmly about Pitch Perfect 2. And I don't want to put anyone off going to see it, because I want I want there to be Pitch Perfect movies in the world, because I like them and I like the idea and I like the characters. But insufficient laughter, which is the old Woody Allen, thing, comes back, and I think, okay, I certainly I laughed more than I have done in many American teen-orientated comedies. There's no question about that. And certainly, I spent a lot of it enjoying the company of the characters. But it is a sequel. It does fulfill that sequel rule of the sequel will be 1/3 less funny than the first one. It also has the let's go to Europe thing. You know, it's the holiday on the buses. It's the where do we go from here? And oddly enough, watching Pitch Perfect, even though I did laugh more than 6 times, probably 10 times, the areas in which there wasn't laugh, when I was waiting for the next belly laugh, just made me remember just how much I laughed all the way through the first Pitch Perfect. So it's not bad. It just should be better.